First, a little background. Maple syrup is made from the sap of sugar maple trees, which grow only in North America. Their range extends from Nova Scotia and Quebec at its northern edge, west to Minnesota, south to southern Missouri, and east to Tennessee. However, they are most common in New England and the Great Lakes states, as well as Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Our little operation is in Binghamton, New York. Sap is harvested from the tree by first drilling a hole about 3 inches deep into the trunk. A metal spout, called a spile, is then hammered into the hole. Each spile can extract between 10 and 30 gallons of sap per season. The trees are not harmed through this process because only about 10% of the tree sap is removed. Sap from maple trees is thin, clear, and slightly sweet, with a sugar content of about 2.5%. Its distinctive maple taste emerges only after the sap is boiled. There's an element of mystery to the sap and its sugar content. Each fall, trees produce starch that protect their roots from freezing during the winter. When the snow melts, water penetrates the roots, and the sugared water begins circulating within the tree in preparation for the growing season. The spring thaw causes the wood of the tree to expand, which puts the water trapped in the sapwood under pressure. If just one hole is made in the bark, the sap will run forth. Maple sap flow is weather dependent, but generally lasts from the end of February to the beginning of April, ending when the trees begin to bud. Within that time frame, the heaviest flow only lasts for 10 to 20 days. Ideal temperatures for the best flow are when the nighttime temperatures drop to the low 20s and daytime temperatures reach the mid-40s. The sap drips from the spile into a metal or plastic bucket. These buckets are emptied on a daily basis, sometimes twice daily, during the peak flow. We transfer the sap from the tree buckets into secondary buckets for transportation to the boiler. In our smaller operation, this transportation is done the old-fashioned way. The conversion from sap to syrup requires boiling to remove most of the water content. To do this, we use a two-sided cinder block fireplace with a fire on each side. This increases efficiency by allowing us to boil using two separate pans. Smoke is vented through a center chimney. We feed our primary evaporating pan from a faucet mounted at the bottom of a galvanized can. This allows us to add the cold sap slowly and continuously, which is key to maintaining a boil. The sap is manually transferred to the secondary evaporating pan as its level drops. This phase of the boiling process is complete when the sap in the secondary pan reaches about 216 degrees. After letting the sap cool overnight, we bring it indoors to finish boiling it down using a propane burner. This allows us to have more control over the heat source as we raise the temperature for the last few degrees. When the thermometer reaches 218, the transformation to syrup is complete. In preparation for bottling, the syrup, which is still over 200 degrees, is transferred to our bottling setup. This consists of a 5-gallon pail that sits atop a commercial coffee maker. The bucket has a large hole drilled in its bottom to allow the syrup to flow through it. You'll note that the bucket is secured to the ceiling with a rope to prevent it from tipping over. The bucket is fitted with a filter which removes any particulate that remains in the syrup. Using the coffee maker's spigot, the bottles are filled one by one. To give you an indication of the work and energy it takes to get to this point, it takes about 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup. This helps to explain why a gallon of real maple syrup can cost over $50, or about 14 times the cost of a gallon of gasoline. While the syrup is still hot, the bottles are then tipped on their side to ensure that the seal under the cap is heated up. This creates an airtight barrier to ensure freshness. And the reason we do all this? Because it tastes so damn good. But the truth be told, for our family, it's about more than just the syrup. It's about getting together with your parents, your aunts, and uncles on a Saturday morning to haul sap and eat pancakes in the sugar shack. It's about splitting wood with your dad. It's about tapping trees for the first time with your poppy. It's about having a snowball fight with your cousins among the maples on a warm March morning. It's about family, and ours has been doing this for about 4 generations now, and that doesn't look to be stopping anytime soon.